So today I really wanted to discuss some things that have been on my mind and that I've been seeing sort of in reality lately, and some information as well that I think if you become conscious of, it could improve your life and make it a lot better. I want to start with a theory of why we're here, why we're really here, and I think to get into that, it's for the soul. The human body that we have, the actions that we have in our life that we take, all center around your soul. Each action that you make reflects onto your soul. And I think the only purpose of this world is to take a soul, put it into existence, and then nurture it or do the opposite of it so that it may be weighed or sort of quantified at the end so that it may pass on to something else. It's my prayer and it's my hope and I guess my faith that we do pass on to something else. Our soul is maintained and hypothetically our consciousness is preserved in a new place. Because I like to believe that this world is so screwed up so that if we do get to a new world where everyone is more logical and compassionate and kind to each other, that we'll appreciate it. And that was the whole purpose of this life, was to appreciate a better life in another place. I believe that this world is about the soul because they tell us it's about monetary gain. You need more to be happy, and that just simply isn't the case. We've seen that time and time again with celebrities that have been on the front pages of media, newspapers, all types of things, great musicians that had everything that we thought someone would want, but ultimately they were still sad and unfulfilled inside. So I feel like the goal of humanity is to be fulfilled within yourself. I think you can do that with a stick hut and food on the table. I don't think it requires a mansion, a Ferrari, or anything like that. Are those things cool and nice and cool experiences? Yes. But are they the ultimate goal of this reality? No, because the people that have found themselves that have attained that goal are still unfulfilled and they're still unhappy. So I believe humans are no more than complex machinery, essentially. We have our mind, we have our body, we have our emotions, how we interact with reality, how we interact with each other, with the sole purpose of creating a soul. And I believe that soul can transcend dimensions. So the Bible talks about heaven, and hypothetically, if to have consciousness, so we are conscious, we perceive moment to moment, we build memories, so we call that consciousness. If to have that consciousness, there must be a higher consciousness. Something must be conscious first to create consciousness. So I believe theoretically, something could have created the Bible or religion to explain to humans at that day and age what they were doing here and what their purpose was. They did it in sort of an artistic way with angels and demons and things like that. But ultimately, we're just here for the soul, because that is, and you'll experience it, you might know this already or have experienced this, as you do things that are good, as you give, as you love, as you don't lie, as you stop those things, as you don't steal, you find that you feel happier inside. But as you steal, as you use people for just things, as you manipulate, lie, and cheat your way through life, you find yourself more and more unhappy. There's even sort of poems, like Edgar Allan Poe, I believe, has a poem about a man that murders somebody and then hides them under the floorboards. And that action that he took in reality impacted his soul, which then impacted his mind, and he slowly became crazy over time. And I think there's more that we can expand on there, but ultimately that's just the surface for that. So I believe also the universe is a self-governing system created by an alternate life form, so an intelligent life form. So what we consider to be aliens, I would consider to be God. And I know that I'm willing to put the tinfoil hat on for this, but if you think about it again, I will say, in order to have a consciousness, something else must be conscious first. And if you look at the human body, the mind, how everything goes together, it is a beautiful design. If you look at reality, the trees that are here, the plants, the animals, it's all a beautiful design, the way things coexist. It's randomness. I don't believe in. If you believe in that, that is okay. I don't push you down for your beliefs, as I don't expect you to push me down for my beliefs, as I don't push my beliefs on others. However, I think it's okay to have beliefs, because as we find with our mind, even through the sort of concept of something isn't real, but we believe it's real, so it has an effect. I can't think of the word at the moment, but that idea, that faith that we have, say, it's like a placebo. We take a pill that we think will help us lose weight, and we believe it so much that, you know, obviously you'd have to sort of factor in some sort of exercise, but take a pill that believes you believe makes you happy, let's say that, and you take it, and you believe so much that it'll make you happy, and you become happy. Though that placebo effect, we have to acknowledge that, and we see that all the time. Doctors use this, and scientists use this, and it's a concept that we know exists. So faith, which is could hypothetically, I acknowledge, could be a placebo. I don't think it is personally. Works. So if you believe in something that loves you and cares about you and that watches you all the time, and as you do good, you feel better and life becomes better and your path sort of alters around you to a better place, then believe that, because that's awesome to believe, whether or not it's a placebo or whether or not it's fake. But the point of this was the universe is a self-governing system. So there's a book that I have, and I'm going to pull it out right now, that stems from many, I don't even know, but it's the Tao Te Ching, and I probably said that wrong, but this book was founded years and years, like thousands of years ago, and it's essentially the idea that God is sort of a pool of wisdom, infinite wisdom in reality that we can plug in through meditation and pretty much not doing anything. So like, if my current understanding of this, and my understanding of this sort of deepens each day as I sort of ponder it and think upon it. This is one of those books that you have to read and just really like let it. It's a seed sower. You know, you think about the concepts that you see in it, and then it slowly sort of integrates into your mind, and then you slowly understand it. As far as I'm concerned at the moment. But what I would say about this is sort of, it's like one human pretty much gives up self. You know, in this reality, we're currently programmed to believe what the think say based off of some other person's idea of what reality should be. But at the end of the day, we realize that it's possible that it is self-governing. When you do bad, bad comes onto you. When you lie and manipulate through your life, those lies come to light and they come to bite you in the ass. When you murder somebody, or you say you live, we've seen this process played out in movies. If you live by the gun, or back in Jesus' day, he lived by the sword, you will die by the sword. You know, we see a lot of movies where a guy is like, you know what, I hate my life, I hate being poor, so I'm going to live by the gun, and at the end of the movie, he gets shot and killed. So it is very possible that your actions define your future. So whatever you do now, say you do good now, but what is good? How can we define good? Well, I think a lot of that is sort of already installed within us. We know what is wrong, we know what is right. We know that it's good to not insult others, to put other people down, like things like that. We know that it's good to not steal, cheat, lie, murder, kill. I don't think man was ever meant to kill. But a self-governing system means that there is no need for government. If one person or a bunch of people start doing crazy shit, then they'll be taken care of by the universe. Now, this would be hard to prove, but I think in small people, like in individual people's lives we could see this thing possibly being true. And I think this book sort of is really good. I highly recommend it. If you read that, it really expands off that. So next point is, this whole life thing that we're in reality is just art for another intelligent life form. I think I said this in another video, that God is an artist and we are living in art. If you look at the world, it is absolutely beautiful. These trees, the sounds that go together. It's like a painting that you can exist in, touch, smell, breathe, live, go moment to moment. And then your individual life is like art. When we watch movies, we see sort of the start and beginning of someone's life. The growth that's in between them is absolutely beautiful. The growing of the soul is art. It's such complex art that we couldn't even understand it, or maybe we could begin to understand it, and if we studied and applied ourselves, we could understand it more and more each day. But this is absolutely art. The other day I was driving, and the way that the flowers were layered was absolutely beautiful. I think that was man-made, but still, like, the fact that all these things are here and coexist together, time, like, the earth itself is an art installation. The fact that it even exists at all, I feel like to another life form, this is their art, to create a reality, to create conscious beings. This is a painting that we exist in. So, emotional control. So this is a really important one. So we can see this play out if you want to watch YouTube videos or anything like that of emotional control. When I, one human, am talking to another human and I'm screaming, yelling at this person, I'd say 80% of the time, 90% of the time, that person is going to get angry. So I've taken my anger and I've passed it through me and I've given it to them. So technically, I just manipulated their reality, their whole state of being. I've just changed. I was yelling at them, now they are angry. So I made them angry, therefore I emotionally controlled them. So if we apply this to what is going on in the United States or all across the world right now, I can only speak for my country because I don't really know what's going on in other countries. But what I would say is, if you look at the media, it's all fear-based stuff. It's, you need to be afraid, you need to hate this race, you need to be scared of everybody, you need to wear a mask, you need to do this, and that. It's all emotional based material. Everything we see on TV is typically some emotional story. So they control you and what you think through your emotions. Now, to interact with emotions is not a bad thing. To be able to make people feel things is beautiful. That's an amazing thing. That's why I love to make music, and that's why I think art exists, is to sort of interact with people on an emotional level and lead them to different thoughts that they would never have thought before. But unfortunately, if you look at America, we have chemically infused food like McDonald's and all that stuff, fast food, processed food. We have a society that promotes pretty much almost no exercise. Some people do exercise, a lot of people do exercise, but a lot of us don't. We have these neighborhoods that are designed to be stressful. We have these work days for people that are designed to be almost impossible. And so we're creating this emotional environment with intent. It's almost so obvious to ignore. All these things that we do to people is to raise their emotions. The bad food, the no exercise, the stimulation on the media. We have apps like TikTok and things like that. Like, all that stuff is to make people more and more emotional. And unfortunately, it is causing people to be played off their emotions even more. If you were to hypothetically exercise, learn something new that is intellectually stimulating each day, eat food that is actually food, like fruits and vegetables, and drink water, not soda and sugar drinks, your emotions would burn off. When you exercise, you have less energy, so your emotions come down. When you eat processed and unprocessed foods such as fruits and vegetables, your emotions come down, because ultimately we're just a coagulation of chemicals inside of our body. So if we're able to limit the chemicals we're adding to our chemical soup, we'll be less unstable. You look at the environment, we have road rage, we have people coming into Walmart screaming at customers, we have people on the phone screaming at customer service people, we have people going to gas stations taking out their emotions. America says it's a great country, well, it's really not. We can't even handle our own emotions that they spill over onto other people. This is like the fact that that's even acceptable, a part of society, to take one's emotions out on a stranger makes absolutely no sense, and that is not indicative of a great nation. The individual people inside of the nation can't even handle their emotions. So right now, your emotions, again, and I'll just summarize because I think my camera's gonna die soon, are being controlled. And through the media. They've purposely created an environment where emotions will rise, and then they are controlling those emotions through the media. So, Jesus' purpose. So I want to talk about Jesus because I know this message has been misunderstood for a very long time. But ultimately, to summarize, he just wanted people to have peace within themselves. If you have inner peace, if there is a way to reach inner peace, then you yourself can be happy at all times, unaffected by the emotional control that's being used against you, and there's no need for war. Why go to a war with another nation when all people have peace inside themselves? There's no need for it. And then also, when you have achieved inner peace, you're able to achieve a state of calmness. In a state of calmness, you're able to think more clearly, make rational decisions, make good decisions, and ultimately set your life on a good path. So that's all he was trying to do, was teach us how to find peace within ourselves so that we may get the most out of a reality that we existed. So again, I want to say that really, I'm sorry, but we're just complex machinery. That's it. We're not anything amazing. We're not anything great. I mean, we are great. We are amazing. The fact that we exist is really cool. I'm grateful to be alive, but we're really just machinery. No one's better than any other one. We all come from the same source. No person has the right or should be able to just shit on other people and tell them that I'm better than you. We're all the same thing. We all have the same pieces. So that's what I really want to get into. And then to prove this almost is that the frequency of emotion. So we're almost like radio antennas. If you look at this book again, the Tao Te Ching, you'll realize that we can actually plug into wisdom. So wisdom is, you can gain wisdom through meditation, through just sitting on the ground, closing your eyes, and just processing and just relaxing. And what will come into your mind are ways to solve your problems. So you set your intention before you meditate. Today I want to meditate on to how to fix my relationship. So you sit down, you relax, you close your eyes, you breathe, focus on your breathing, you clear your mind, and those thoughts will come into you. You'll also find peace that you can go throughout your day, but you're receiving frequency. Emotions are at a frequency. Currently nowadays, it almost seems like there's an intent to lower the overall emotional state of the people, to lower the frequency of the world, to make everyone in a state of fear, panic, and anger so that that's all we spread. Everywhere I go, people are upset. Everywhere I go, people are fighting. Everywhere I go, people are angry with each other, are unhappy. They, I believe, with intention, are trying to lower the overall emotional frequency of the world. Love is the highest frequency. Love is what Jesus was trying to teach. He wanted us to raise the frequency. If we can raise the frequency and sort of spread that, find peace within ourselves, maybe finally humanity can evolve into a technologically advanced place, like aliens. You know, maybe we can build cities that don't put our children in dangerous situations. Maybe we can eradicate ghettos. Maybe every person, regardless of their race, ethnicity, where they come from, could have a full life. Maybe Hispanic people won't have to work 60-hour weeks or more than that, doing back-breaking labor. Maybe African Americans will be seen more than just football players, basketball players, and rappers. Maybe we can live in a world where we're all equal if we raise the frequency. And if you raise the frequency, you will raise the intelligence overall of society. So, the book of Revelation I want to talk about. So this is what I think ties into frequency. I think that, again, if the universe is a pre-programmed self-governing system, if the frequency is lowered too much and there's too much chaos among the people, among the souls, the universe will kick off it'll trigger an event of revelation. The universe doesn't want to be destroyed. It doesn't want to die. It wants to keep going. So if the souls inside of the universe, which have the capacity to destroy it from the inside, become too erratic, it's going to erase some souls. Now, again, if this is just simply art, if this whole society is just art, this universe is just art, then perhaps souls are flushed out in a very artsy way. Perhaps that is possible. So, I'll expand on that later, but I want to just get into that. So, hypothetically, if the frequency gets so low, so much chaos, so much emotional turmoil, that event will kick off. Okay. And I believe that if we can push that frequency up again, have more love spread in between us, we can stop that event and then not have to flush people out. So again, another point that I want to make is if you want to get onto a good path, if you want to make your life better, 3 things you can focus on. Diet, what you're eating, that'll help you feel so much better. Daily exercise, which is hard at first, but as you stick to a routine, it becomes easier, it becomes just a part of who you are. And the daily pursuit of knowledge. Now, I'm not saying you need to read anything complex like science or anything like that, but I'm just saying pick up a book every once in a while, or find a new subject that you might be interested in. If you're not happy with your life, you are the one in control of it, and you can change it. And those 3 aspects of your life are pretty easy to focus on. Diet, what you're eating, exercise, even if it's some push-ups, even if it's a walk, in the daily pursuit of knowledge. Try to learn something new each day. I promise you it'll bring you happiness and it'll bring you peace. And then what are you absorbing? Are you feeling depressed right now? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you engaging with? What is around you? If you're absorbing consistent bad energy from someone, then you yourself are going to feel bad. If you're watching negative material online, then you yourself are going to feel bad. So be conscious of what it is you're doing. Are you feeling depressed? Well, maybe there's something that you're doing in your life daily that is causing that for you. Okay? And I think that is a place where I want to stop. Well, actually, I want to talk about one more thing. The heart is the central, so this thing in our chest. Science has proved that there is another layer to the part where it's there's an emotional sort of nervous system to it. It's more complex than we knew. So your heart, I believe, is the center processing unit of where your choices are. How your heart is at the moment dictates what choices you're likely to make. So if you have a good heart, you're more likely to make good choices. You're more likely to be compassionate. If you have a bad heart, you're more likely to make bad choices. You're more likely to make choices that put you on a bad path. But is a heart good or bad based off of the person? Was they just given a bad heart or were they just given a good heart? No, I don't believe so. I believe that bad hearts can be grown. I believe good hearts can be nurtured. I think that this current reality creates bad hearts. We promote ego, pride, things like that within our society through our music and things like that. We promote bad eating, we promote fighting, we promote all these things, all these negative things that eventually, as a person is absorbing this complex machine, is absorbing all this, their heart will slowly turn bad, and they will only make bad choices or be less likely to make good choices, less likely to do good things. So we're really promoting bad hearts, ugly hearts in this current reality. So if we wanted to change reality, we wanted to bring world peace, it is actually possible. We just need to be conscious of what we are. We don't know what we are. And that is one of the biggest problems of today. We don't know what we are. And we can learn what we are. We have to look within ourselves and find which aspects we can fix. Peace is possible. Peace is possible not through war. Peace is possible with each individual person looking in themselves and realizing what they must change to be happy, to be grateful for what they have at the moment. We can create environments. We can get rid of ghettos. these places that promote violence and people getting killed and poverty, and we can change them into environments that promote nurturing of good hearts. We can do this. This is possible. But the current overall thing that is governing us is intentionally making choices that don't promote that way of thinking. I don't know why. And honestly, I don't care why. I know that we must be conscious of it as a people, and I know that we don't need to rise up against the government. That is not something that is required. All we have to do is be conscious of ourselves individually and find peace within ourselves. And then together, collectively work together on ways that we can find happiness within this current reality. So I will never, ever promote war or rising up, fuck society or fuck the system. No, I'm not. That's not who I am. I think the way to a better land or a better place for future children is to find peace within ourselves, to be conscious of certain aspects of the world. Not necessarily to tie to religion. I think religion, the way that it is religion is just art too. It's intelligent life created reality, inputted us humans with free will, and then gave us sources of information that might be useful in learning how to interact with our soul. The soul must be acknowledged for the world to move forward. We must acknowledge a missing piece of ourselves, which is the soul. We must make actions that are indicative to where we want our soul and our life to head. And I think this is lacking because we're unconscious of this information. I don't think there is one path to God. I don't think Christian religion is greater than Islam. I don't think Eastern religion is greater than Western. I think all religion almost pretty much has the center belief, which is God is a pool of wisdom that one can interact with, can plug into through good actions, intentions, and inner peace. You can achieve your dreams through wisdom, and wisdom is a reflection of God. So you can achieve your dreams through God. And it's just a system of how this works that is undeniably the truth. And it's the truth that we've been distanced from, and I believe on purpose, so that other people could make money, which makes really no sense, because how much money do you need really to be happy? Obviously you're not happy with the money. The money's not making you happy, so why put people down so you could have more? I don't understand that. And that, again, later video sort of seems like a spiritual thing too. Perhaps the whole purpose of this higher governing power is perhaps a spiritual intent. But anyways, I'll stop it there. I'll take off the tinfoil hat, put it aside. But hopefully you learned something, because I just say things and I forget immediately what I said, and which is why I wrote down things in sequential order. But that is for today's video, and I hope that love will light your way. Go in peace. Same thing, when they see the same thing, so they ride the range.